Hi, and welcome to Good Grief. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle. Today's masterclass is about allowing more joy in your life. And I know all about what it's like not to have joy in your life. I've gone through being fired from a job I felt very proud of. I have lost a partner in divorce. I lost both my parents 6 months apart. I lost a brother. I've lost my vision and I've lost my confidence. And as a result of these life challenges, I have made it my commitment to understand and heal loss and transform it into an opportunity to change. To that end, I have a PhD in sociology and psychology, 20 years of grief coaching, and as I said, a number of personal losses. My mission is to empower women struggling with grief or a major life challenge to reinvent themselves by releasing the past, healing the present, and changing their perspective so that they can allow more joy, more peace, and more contentment in their lives. So let's begin. Anytime you want to change, you start with where you are. So where are you right now? What's holding you back? What is inspiring you or motivating you to change your situation? Did you lose somebody close to you through death, a loved one? That can be a very emotionally challenging time. And if this is within the first 3 months of you losing a partner or a parent or a child, you might not be ready for this masterclass. If this is you, I would still like to give you something. And that is my mini grief guide called Essentials for Grieving Well. It's illustrated. It's only 30 pages. It's really easy to read and it has great information. All you need to do is go to griefessentials.com, put in your information, and download the guide. If this is not you, if it has been past 3 months and you're starting to want to allow more joy in your life, I know who you are. Stay with me. But maybe you haven't lost somebody through death. Maybe it's just some kind of life challenge, such as your children have grown up and suddenly you have empty nest syndrome. Or maybe you went through a divorce, or you're having financial challenges, or you retired and you have lost your sense of purpose. Or maybe you're going through a major health challenge. These are all ways in which you can get the motivation, the inspiration, the fuel for this journey. Now, the third possibility is you might just be stuck. You might feel blah, kind of in a gray area, and you would like to have more joy, but you don't know how to get there. So to get there, you have to start with where there is. What is joy to you? Take a moment to check in with yourself. What would make your life a whole lot better? What would make you happy? Jot it down. And in the meantime, I'm going to share with you some of the ideas given to me at the in-person presentation of this masterclass. They came up with positive connections, purpose, activity, nature, music, peacefulness, flowers, and beauty. And not personal beauty, but beauty in the world. These are very, very high level goals. Why are they high level? Because they don't depend upon anybody else. You have access to these goals, these experiences of joy, anytime you choose to grab them. But if you have the others, if you would like to have more money, you would like to have fame, you would like to have a hot romance, go ahead and write that down, because what I'm going to share with you is going to help you too. So there are three characters, inner characters, that can get in the way, that can be villains in your journey or allies. Now, both of them are helpful to your journey. The villain helps you to grow, to transform, to become truly empowered. And the allies help you along. So let's look at each of them: the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. The physical body you recognize because it communicates with you through sensation. Basically, it has a vocabulary of two: pain and pleasure. And it is extremely powerful. And it has its own agenda. And that agenda, all 300 billion cells in your body are trying to keep you alive. Well, what's the matter with that? Don't you want to be alive? Well, human beings are complicated. It's not as simple as hiding or fending yourself off from lions and tigers and bears. Way more complicated. Has to do with your biography and your life history, about what your body perceives as a threat to its survival. And so, for example, if your desire to have joy or less grief in your life feels like a threat to your body's survival, it will get in the way. For example, I had a client who had been struggling with the loss of her husband for about 3 years. She had seen ministers, she had seen psychotherapists, and she could not get over the loss of her husband. He was the sun and moon to her. So I started to work with her, started to help her to open up, to allow her feelings. She was having a little bit of difficulty allowing her feelings. And the next thing I know, she was sick, and we had to cancel the next few meetings. And then when I got back to her, she had broken her wrist and she could not move forward. We had to put the whole program on hold for another couple of months. And when she came back, she was totally defended. Well, I can understand. She was afraid to release her grief. She felt like her body was going to beat her up. But actually, it was her beating herself up. Maybe she was afraid that if she healed her grief, if she got back to joy, she would lose her connection to her husband. And she was not ready for that. So as I said, the body is very powerful. It has at its resources all this chemistry, all this power, and it can make you feel pain and sickness when you don't pay attention to it. So what you need to do is you need to partner with your body. You need to get it on your side. And to do that, you need to learn its language, how the body speaks. And I have a special gift for you. I have a digital audio journey into your body to help you to start recognizing some of the ways in which your body communicates with you. And all you need to do to get this free gift is to go to releaseandthrive.com. Put in your information and download the audio. So let's talk about the emotional body. Emotions, they have a few more vocabulary words: love, hate, fear, joy, disgust. You get the picture. All these emotions. Emotion, energy in motion. Emotions need to move. And when we clamp them down, tap them down, repress them, they can erupt because they need to move. And unfortunately, in our culture, we tend to repress our emotions. We are taught that they should be done in private, that when we're out in public, we should not share them. And this takes a lot of energy, a lot of muscular energy holding these emotions down. And if you don't let them release, they can erupt suddenly and be very uncomfortable. I had another client. She had been grieving the loss of her husband for 20 years. I mean, literally tears down her cheeks. And this was causing conflict in her life because whenever she would visit her son, who was the spitting image of her husband, she would cry. And her son was getting very, very uncomfortable about seeing her. And he was the only person in her life. So she came to me. This was after seeing psychotherapists, psychologists, counselors, and having no success. In the first month, she stopped crying in front of her son because I showed her how to release her emotions so that they didn't keep on erupting unexpectedly. I gave her a time and a place to allow her emotions. She was more than ready. And in the next few months, she got her life back on target. She signed up for a few college courses, one in photography, one in agriculture and gardening, and she got her purpose and her passion back online. So the first step is to release those emotions. If you don't, not only will they erupt, they can also cause you illness. For example, if you were to clench your fist really, really hard, and imagine holding this fist really hard for 5 minutes, now extend that to an hour. What about a day? What about a week? What about a year? People clench and hold in their emotions just like this for years and years. And when you do that, you prevent the flow of energy in your body. You prevent the flow of your blood in your body. You prevent the flow of limbic fluids in your body. You're creating constrictive areas, which can cause illness and disease. And finally, when you don't allow your difficult emotions like grief and loss, you also tap down all the good, positive emotions like joy and happiness. And so you kind of live in this never, never land of grayness where there's not too much joy, just okay, and not too much bad. Sometimes this is what antidepressants bring us, that middle level of nothing. So the third character that can be an obstacle in our effort to have joy is the mental body. And this is the ringleader. This is the part of ourselves that can really command the other two parts with beliefs that we have developed over the course of our lives about what is safe and what is not safe. And sometimes we aren't even aware because it's subconscious, but it's something that we've learned in childhood about what is safe, like being yourself or going for what you want or being successful. And if we believe that that's dangerous, that we're going to fail, our body will respond and our emotions will respond. We'll get anxious and we may get sick. I had another woman come to me who had been struggling with the loss of her father for about 2 or 3 years because she felt like a failure. She had regrets about the way in which her father died. She wanted to be there with him. She wanted to help him. She wanted to support him in her own home, take care of him. but he insisted upon being put in a nursing home. And she thought this was the worst thing in the world for him to go through. And she couldn't let go of it. She felt such remorse that that was the way he died. And she couldn't move forward in her life. So I asked her, do you believe in an afterlife? She said, well, yeah, kind of. I said, well, imagine what your father must be feeling right now at how you're dealing with your life since he died, how you're holding back your life because of the way in which he chose to die. And he's dead, and he can't do anything about it. How do you think he feels? Would that not be the worst nightmare? She had an epiphany right then and there. A total shift of mindset. And after that, she was able to move forward with her life. Sometimes we have judgments about ourselves that hold us back from having joy, like we're not good enough, or we're not worthy, or we need to do something first before we're allowed to have joy. I think a lot of us have this, that we have to achieve a certain amount of financial success or job success or career success before we can allow ourselves to rest and enjoy ourselves. And this can hold us back because actually joy is part of the fuel to help you be successful. It enables you to attract what you want in your life. The other part is focus. What are you paying attention to in your life? Are you looking at all the negative things? Or are you noticing the gifts in your life? Are you feeling grateful? Or are you feeling resentful? What you focus on, where you put your attention is going to affect how you feel. So this is another area of the mental body. Where do you focus? What kind of information are you consuming? Now, if you're having difficulty with deciding what is holding you back, and you would like some help, I would like to make you a special gift. The usual investment for an hour of my time is $700. But because you showed up today, because you want to take that first step, I'm offering you a free half-hour discovery session with me to help you identify what are the blocks to your joy, what's holding you back from moving forward with your life. All you need to do is go to meetwithdrmichelle.com and put in the coupon code COMP, C-O-M-P, #1, COMP all in capitals, and go ahead and schedule a time that works for you. Now, you need to take action on this in the next 2 weeks. That is, at least make a schedule, an appointment, and we can have that conversation. Let's recap what we covered today. You had a major life challenge, and you want to get back to joy. It's a journey. It may not happen overnight. You have to know where you are starting from. What is your situation? Where are you right here, right now? And then where do you want to go? What would joy be like in your life? And then you need to take a look at some of the obstacles that are preventing you from moving forward. For example, your physical body. Is it reacting when you try and move forward? Or your emotional body, do you get all anxious or fearful? Or your mental body, does it try to undermine you? And when you master these 3 characters and get them on your side and become allies, you can move forward towards your joy. I want to leave you with a final thought. Years ago, when my mother was dying, she revealed to me that she had one major regret. There was a precious project that she had never been able to finish. And this surprised me because my mother was, for me, the poster child for living your life passion. She was a toy designer. She sold her designs to major companies in New York. So her having regrets knocked me over. I thought, if she had regrets, where did that leave me? A person who spent most of my time trying to please other people, focusing on what other people's needs were and putting them ahead of myself. It woke me up. And I decided that I needed to focus on myself. And I made a commitment to be curious about my life. I want to leave you with the question she left me when she died. And that was, and that is, if you were to die tomorrow, would you die with no regrets? And if your answer is no, isn't it time to take a step and move towards your passion, your joy? That's it for today. Be brilliant. Until next time, bye for now.